Welcome back. Today's episode 4 of the Social Dilemma conversation based and inspired by the Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma. We recommend you to watch it, check it out. It is dope. It's going to change your mind, change your perspective on a lot of things. So we recommend it 100%. So I'm here. My name is Jonathan. I'm here with
Caitlin.
And we're here at episode 4 talking about our responsibility. Our responsibility starts with ourselves. It starts with us being aware, conscious of our social media habits and evaluating ourselves, assessing ourselves. Are we addicted? Are we moderately addicted? Are we at a healthy place with our social media habits? Are we the users or are we being used? Who's in control, right? We have to ask ourselves these questions. So our responsibility starts with us, checking ourselves first. But then the conversation continues where we then have to check each other. Yo, I see you distracted. Let's talk. Hey, we're at the dinner table. Let's take some time to just communicate with each other. No phones at the dinner table. So what can you put in place in your family? First, starting off with yourself, right? But then think about your family. Think about your friends. Think about those who are socially connected to you. I'm not talking about social media now. I'm talking about in real life, socially connected to you. And how together, collectively, you can create more healthy social media habits where you are the user in control and not the user being controlled. Now, we're gonna have a little bit of a check-in moment. If y'all remember episode 1, we showed our screen time on the screen. So we're gonna take a moment to do that right now. So Caitlin, get your phone out. Let's see what it really is.
Let's do it.
Oh, and you guys who are watching, get your phones out, check your screen.
Yeah.
Comment below.
And look, I just want to say, like, the fact that this is now a feature, it's for a reason. They are trying to be responsible. These tech giants are trying to be responsible by telling you how much you're using your device for. And it's not because they want to be responsible. It's because they don't want you to blame them and be like, I don't even know how much time I spend on my phone. They have all these addictive features and I don't even know. Now they're like, okay, we're at least telling you. So you take care of your habits, right? So you have this feature, access it. Don't just ignore the notifications. Check in with yourself. So I'm actually surprised. I thought it would be lower. I mean,
me too.
I spent a lot of time at church today, but it's still at 3 hours and a half, man.
Ooh. Oh, there we go. Boom. 3:15. We right there. We right there.
I did laundry, so that must have been why. But today was bad. Like, remember episode 1, we asked how soon after waking up do you get today? Within like 7 minutes, I was on social media. And the worst part that I was like scrolling, like you said, scrolling, and I had no rationale, scrolling. And I was like, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but my logic was just like, we don't keep on scrolling. And I was just like, don't do it. But we're having this episode because we have a responsibility and we don't want to neglect that. As a person, as an individual, you have a responsibility to check in with yourself, reflect on how much time are you spending with this device? Like, do you have other goals? I know that like sometimes I set reading goals for myself and then I have these goals and I'm like, yeah, I want to accomplish this, but what am I actually doing to accomplish this? And what am I stopping that is preventing me from accomplishing those goals? So it's important that we check in with ourselves, like Jonathan was saying, and reflect and not just keep it on an individual basis, but check in with those people around us as well. I think it's so great to have accountability because it's not like something that we want to make you feel guilty about. We're telling you, you have the power. You can take control back and you can encourage those around you to take control back. I often think about my younger brother. I have so many younger siblings. So if you're an older sibling, you have a responsibility. And this can also be a great way to like develop a more healthy relationship with your younger siblings or those people around you, like you encouraging them like less screen time, more meaningful bonding, like how special is that? Like if 2022 were to end and you can say, I had more meaningful interactions with my siblings. And that can come from a simple conversation like, how much time do you think you spend on Instagram? Does it even make you feel good? How is your mood being influenced by social media or all these video games that you're playing? Like, are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled? Or do you keep on searching like for these video games and entertainment from these places because of that, like that effect that you were describing, where it's like a slot machine, like I don't know if I'm going to be fully entertained, but I'm just going to keep on seeking it. So it's important that we have these conversations with the people around us, with ourselves, because we have a responsibility. If not, these tech giants will consume us, and they're making money off of us, right? Like we can say like, oh, I used to be on Twitter. I don't have Twitter anymore. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Toxic place, y'all. It's so funny, but toxic place. We go to these places and we're like, oh, I'm being entertained. I'm here for the memes. Yeah, like it's nothing unhealthy. I'm just having a good laugh. But like, are those laughs really like contributing to where you want to be? Like, and I'm not asking this like I'm guilt tripping you. Like, are you where you want to be right now and you're not there because of you? No, that's not what it is. I'm telling you, there are strategies in place by these tech giants so that you stay hooked, and we don't want that for you. So that's why we're having this conversation. What else you want to share, Jonathan?
You know, so I get asked this question, like we're talking about excessive, but who defines excessive, right? Is it 2 hours? Is it 3 hours? What if I do 4 hours straight, but then I'm doing chores for the next 10 hours, right? Then it's 4 hours ain't excessive. So I have a rule of thumb, and I would like for you to share your rule of thumb. Actually, I would like for you to share first, if you can think of anything. What would be the rule of thumb to know if a parent asks, how do I know if my kid is spending too much time on social media? What would you say to that, Caitlin?
Huh. Dang, I mean, maybe I would have more context if I was a parent, but no, it's okay. I mean, how do you know? I mean, I think that like one thing that I'm noticing is like I'm watching this on social media, but one thing I think is really wholesome is like when you ask parents random questions about their kids and like they can answer them, like what's their favorite subject in school, or like is if your child, if your sibling is not sharing random facts about their day, about their friendships, if you don't have that, like those little bits of details about your child, it might be because they're just like they don't have the moment, the interactions enough with you to be sharing those details about themselves. So I think that's one way that you can like check in with your child, and like maybe they're spending too much time on a device and not enough time chatting with you. I know that even in my relationship with my brother, like I have to be intentional about asking him these questions, because I'm like, you're spending too much time there. And even when we're together, it's like there might be a device in between us, and I don't want it to be like that. I want to know about you. So maybe how much you know about your child is a good way to gauge.
Good. I like that. I like that. See, I have a different kind of rule of thumb that would answer the question if your child is spending too much time on social media, or if you yourself, right?
Mm.
So my rule of thumb is, if you've never broken a bone, you're spending too much time on
Oh,
social media because you're not outside. You're not
okay.
outside.
I
Yeah.
Lord, I don't want to break a bone. I'll stay on my phone. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So maybe that rule of thumb doesn't apply always.
But let's share a healthy tip that could help you manage your social media habits that I can give.
So
I don't have any social media notifications, email notifications. Yo, I have to share really quickly. Like I used to be obsessed with email. And if you watch The Social Dilemma, you will know that there was like, again, there was strategy behind it, but I was obsessed with emails, so much so that I couldn't complete my college assignments until I got an email, because otherwise I felt like I wasn't important enough. Like nobody's emailing me. Like, where is my purpose? Like, if I don't have an email in a new email in my inbox right now, I don't care if it was spam, promotional. Like it got to the point where like my friends would be like, hey, Katie, this is an email just so you can get started on your assignment. And I'd be like, oh my God, I feel so grateful, so important. And then I can get started. Like that's unhealthy. So I don't have any notifications on. Like no social media notifications, no WhatsApp notifications. It's just the number. I'll get to it when I get to it. And that has really helped me like restrain the urge to like open an app immediately as soon as the ping happens. Like, no, I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. So that's one of my favorite healthy tips for managing your technology habits. What about you, Jonathan? What you got to share?
That's great. That's a great tip. That's definitely, hey guys, she said it. Kate Lee took action, right? So
Mhm.
the question we're asking ourselves in this conversation, episode 4, is how can we take action to understand that we have a responsibility to do so, right? And it's not just about decreasing, okay, our time on social media. It's more than decreasing the time. It's about let's say purging the content. So that's the tip now I want to share. Sometimes you got to take time to get on your social media and purge your content, purge what's on your news feed, purge, clean up, unfollow over here, unfollow over there, right? Because the way social media is configured, there's an algorithm that if you like this cat video, guess what you're gonna see tomorrow? 20 cat videos. And guess what you're going to see in an hour or in 15 minutes once you refresh your newsfeed or your search page or your For You page on TikTok? You're going to see the same videos you just saw. So we got to purge what we're watching, because if we happen to make the mistake of watching something negative, whatever it may be, that negativity literally by the algorithm will continue to pop up in your screen, in your newsfeed, in your For You page, whatever you want to call it. The algorithm is meant to populate, to repopulate whatever content you are feeding yourself. So if you're feeding yourself negativity, that's what's going to be repopulated. So we have to purge our social media accounts from anything that is not beneficial to us. And sometimes you might have to do that proactively, meaning not just unfollowing, but also proactively now following pages that are motivational, that are encouraging, that inspire you, that are feeding you something positive in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever you get on your phone. Okay, so I would say purge, not just unfollow and taking away, but adding positivity. Now,
Mhm.
I want to get a little bit deeper, Kate Lee. I want to really talk about this algorithm thing because it's a problem. So talking about, I know last episode we talked about the family dynamic, but talking today about the responsibility we have. Sometimes arguments break out within a household. You would think you're in a household, we're all on the same page because we love each other, blah, blah, blah. But then you have one person that's believing one thing, another person that's hooked on conspiracy theories, another person that's hooked on misinformation, another person that's hooked on this, that's hooked on that. Why does this happen? And you would think, don't we all have the same information? But what happens is social media will put out, will regurgitate what you watch. So if you watched a conspiracy theory video one day, just one time, you're going to see something similar again the next day. And then that's going to be the content that your social media account is feeding you. And it can become dangerous. So another tip I'll throw out there, as we take responsibility for our social media habits and our social media use, be careful with what you're watching. Vet what you watch, the information that you receive. It could be misinformation. It could be the wrong information. It could be a conspiracy theory. It could be based on facts or it could be based on opinions. It could be something completely false. So before you go sharing information or sharing something, make sure what you're sharing has a foundation that is factual, that makes sense, and that is not intended to hurt or harm anyone. Because if you get hooked on that, if you watch 1 or 2 videos in that material of that nature, whatever it is, you'll continue to see it. And that can create division even in your family. So don't just suspect or assume that you're all receiving the same information. Every individual user receives information that they watched once or twice, and that now becomes what they're receiving. So we have to vet what we hear, what we watch, what we put out there. And I would say challenge ourselves to maybe listen to different perspectives every now and then. I don't want to get into politics, but If you listen always to the left, that's what you're always going to be exposed to. If you listen always to the right, that's what you're always going to be exposed to. But if you want to come to a more balanced, well-rounded opinion, watch a little bit over here, watch a little bit over there, watch something at all. But we got to be well-balanced. So that's my tip. Purge and vet the information that you're receiving and that you're putting out there.
That is good. And look, the conversation doesn't have to end here. We want to know. Well, first, let me just say, we know that our social dilemma is huge. Like if we were to get into the politics of it and the misinformation and the way things are being spread, I mean, this conversation series will be way longer, but we know that our social dilemma is huge. We want to know, we want you to use the hashtag social convo and let us know what's something that you notice is an issue in our social dilemma right now. We want you to continue the conversation, not just in our comments, not just in social media, but in your social spheres, in person, in your workspace. Wherever you are, have these types of conversations because they promote healing, they promote healthy approaches to our social media habits. And ultimately, that is our goal. That is why we developed this conversation series. That's why we're grateful that you're having this conversation here with us. And like I said, we want you to join the conversation and we want it to continue. We know that we touched on the Snapchat dysmorphia, our addiction, the family experience, but we know that there's more as well. So tell us what's something that you believe is also an issue in our social dilemma right now and use the hashtag social convo. And like I said in the first episode, being responsible looks like having these conversations, exposing our truths, exposing our addictions, being honest about them. And that way we can move forward proactively. So thank you so much for joining us for this conversation series. We hope that you enjoyed it. Again, my name is Kate-Lee.
I'm Jonathan. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, take care, y'all.
Peace.
Thank you for your patience, Jonathan. I got my Vicks glowing. Like I put a whole satin scarf there too. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a diva.
Hey, I'm Jonathan and I'm here with
Kate-Lee.
And we have a special guest with us here today as well, making an in and out appearance, not always with us. I want everyone to say hi to Kate-Lee's bun. Okay, you see now, it's with us now. But the it's gone. It's gone. Okay, it's gone. There you go. All right. Well, we said hello. It's back. No, it's gone. So there it goes. Okay, so welcome back to the show. Up and it's gone. All right, keep going. We said hello and we said our goodbyes. Okay.
Nothing is disrespectful, y'all. My bun don't appreciate it. You got the jokes. It was funny. It was funny. I was like, who's the special guest?
Se fue.
Yeah, I just want to look nice. And then like, I got disrespected by this blur.